Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and in yesterday's video, I went towing with the Chevy Silverado 2023 with the LZ0 Duramax Diesel, and today I'm towing again, but this time I got pretty handy, and I installed the PPE aftermarket transmission radiator cooler. So the transmission radiator is mounted in front of the radiator, and it keeps the transmission cool. So in this video, I'm gonna do a quasi-similar towing test we did yesterday's video. I wanna go over the Wildcat Hills again. If you saw that video, get up high. I'm gonna see if I can't get above 200 degrees on the transmission. Because yesterday's video, the high we got was like 205, if I recall correctly. So right now on the left-hand side, I have the transmission temperature at 109, and I have my banks set up to figure out if I'm gonna do regen, and I have the engine temperature at 172, the Banks I-dash. So we're gonna get on down the road. I'm gonna drive 65 miles an hour or so, and speed limit 70. I like to go a little bit slower, just to be safe. And then we're gonna get down there. I'm gonna film when we get on top on the Scottsbluff or the Wildcat Hills. Get on top of the hills. We'll see what it's doing as far as the transmission temperature, and we'll see what the difference between this PPE versus the stock transmission as well. And I'm going to install it, and I'll show you the installation videos too. All right, let's check out these differences. So this one here is the stock transmission cooler. This is the PPE auxiliary transmission cooler, and you can just visually see the differences. I got a tape measure here too. So this is was it a little over 6 1/4, and this one is 3 and maybe like 3 3/4. As far as depth wise, that's a full 1 1/4. That one is not even a 1/2 inch, or maybe right at a 1/2 inch. So, you know, I mean, obviously, from a layman's terms, or not layman, but common sense, excuse me, common sense should say that one should cool better than that one. Okay, once you get this taken apart, and I'll film this putting it back together, but there is a hose right there, and a screw mount there, and there is a radiator hose here, and a slot to go in for the radiator there. I did not drain the radiator. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I'm hoping to avoid it because it kind of makes a big mess. So I'm hoping I just slide these in, tighten these up, and no problem. I did disconnect the battery, FYI. Always a good thing to do if you're working around this stuff. I got sensors, I got things going on. So I went ahead and disconnected that just to be safe. So let me install this, and hopefully I don't have any issues. Fingers crossed. Okay, naturally I ran to the store for flare nut wrenches. I didn't get the right size, but I was able to make it work with a crescent wrench and a flare nut to get it all the way in. Okay, so let's get in close here. So we have the PPE, I showed you that in the display over there. We have an in or out either way, which happens with the line here, which is the coolant line. Have the bolt there that goes in, it's a 10mm bolt, and on the other side over here, we have that same connection with that line, right? So that's nice and tight. I've double checked a few times, and that just fits into a slot. So now the game is to put all this stuff back on, step by step. I thought that was interesting here to show you guys this stuff. I've never actually seen these apart from inside a truck. You know, you can't put your hand through and see them, but they're like a hard plastic. Maybe plastic's the wrong word, but they seem like they're pretty solid. They're not steel. These are your air louvers, right? So that they open and close as the system needs it to for efficiency and heating and cooling. And then this slides in. We have some bolts. We have 10mm bolt here and a few bolt here, and that's how that goes on. And then over here, I have some wiring that connects. You can see that wiring that connects down over here as well. So just gotta connect my wiring up and slide it back into place and put my bolts in, and then that piece will be secure again. Okay, here's your finished project. I have the louvers back on. I have the 10mm 4 along the top. I have two in these little holders here, and I have one down there, one there, one there, and one there. And you can see these little holes right there. So that's back on, and they're all hooked up. And so now let's put the grill back on. Okay, so the grill is, you know, just one piece, and it's crazy how lightweight these grills are. Look at that, one hand, and I'm carrying the grill. That's just crazy. But what makes mine more challenging is high country. I have the camera, and I have this water spigot over here because I have a camera cleaner. So I need to run my water line, which is currently on the ground over there, back through the system, and there's a little bit of, you can see where it follows along right through here. There's little slots it goes into, and I need to rehook my camera, which is over there. And once I get those hooked up, I can put it on top and slide it in, and we can see the bolt holes line up. Okay, that's back on. We can see, get the bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 number 10s, and 1, 2, 3 number 10s. And I made sure I'm in there, and they're nice and tight. I pushed this in a few bit to make sure it connected. So what I'm gonna do next is, before I put this other piece on, this top piece on, I'm gonna start her up and make sure the camera works, make sure that the windshield wiper fluid and front works, and make sure I don't have any error message on the screen, because I'd rather do that than put it all back together. Okay, the moment of truth, as they say. Okay, started, that's a good thing. Let's see, hood open. I'm gonna dismiss that. My radio's turned down. Open and close the window. Okay, wait, just dismiss. Dismiss, go away. Okay, so then let's check cameras. Well, I guess I could do a couple different ways, but I'm going to put it in drive first, and let's see. Okay, I'll go in reverse. Okay, there we go. There, the front camera's working. I can see that front camera. Let's turn on the wiper fluid. And looks like that's working there too, because it sprays wiper fluid. So camera's working, that's good. I'm gonna put the brake on. I have the transmission temperature of 73 degrees. So that may be working. I have no other lights on, no error messages. And in my world, no lights, no error messages. I think that's probably good. Let's just finish putting it back together, put the upper bumper on, which take a little bit of work, and then we can hit the road and get towing. Okay, this piece has a collection of clips that go in like this. Then it pushes down. It's got a bunch of like, just little white clips that go in and connect to the pieces. And you can kind of see them getting close there. You can see that white clip there goes in. Then over here, you can see all these little inserts. They match up there and there. The holes are there, right there. Then this other side, it's a little clip here. And then this piece slides into that clip. So, okay. So let's slowly work it. Okay, that's connecting up just right. And then this piece goes up to connect. Like so. Okay. Connect it like so. We're gonna push it in, make sure it clasps. Double check things. Okay, it's good there. So I'm just gonna go around and gently take my hands, make sure it's all being connected. Okay, next we put the wheel liner back on. We have a little bolts here, there, going up. It's a T15, and I do recommend getting a mini one. You don't have to take this one off. I did, but this one's kind of tough without taking the tire off, which is why this is pretty darn handy. See? And so you put those back on, and that's all wrapped up. Okay, so I was editing this video and I realized I have 2 missing bolts inside and I couldn't figure out where they were. When I edited the video, I remembered where they go. Imagine how it works out. So these, there's one on each side. It connects the upper bumper to lower bumper, and it's back here in the white. I don't know if I can show it, but there's a little white, those little white connections. There's a bolt on top of that. It's a 10mm bolt. It goes in both sides, one there, and then one over here, which I'll install later on today. This one's trickier to get to because you have the windshield wiper fluid, and it's back here behind that. You kind of see my finger, it's like way back in there. So there's one on top on the little white there. You just gotta work your hand around and get around the windshield wiper fluid. The other one's much easier to get to. Okay, now this slides just into place, just gotta avoid the latch. And then these go right in like so, and then you push them down. Boom. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And if you don't have them out already, they just take a little flat screwdriver. You pop up the edges, then you pop it up a little bit, then you push this up with the last of the flat screwdriver. It's pretty simple to figure out. I mean, I didn't have any problems. You shouldn't either. Okay, finally, T15 bolts. That's what puts this latch in. Nice and tight, without stripping or breaking anything. And that should do it. Everything feels pretty tight. Nothing feels loose to me. Back in there pretty tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's pretty tight. Just gotta go. Oh, yeah, this comes out just a touch. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. No, I think it's fine. I think yeah, the rest of it is just really solid. Again, it's, you know, it's, yeah, see, that comes out a little bit there at the bottom, so kind of the way it's supposed to be. So let's go hook it up to camper and hit the road, see what we get for temperature. Okay, we just started downshifting. We're making the climb up the Wildcat Hills. The thermostat on the transmission shows at 194, just changed 194. So it's interesting. It's not that much cooler at the moment, actually. So let's get to the top and get over the top and see what's going on as far as how hot this gets. Again, a little warmer than yesterday, so I expect it to be a little bit hotter, but I'd also expect to be running cooler than yesterday because of that big old radiator we just added to this truck. Alright, here we are, we're getting to the top. 198 degrees is what we're running with, filming and doing this, going up the top, so we have 198 degrees. It's a little bit more windy today, so I'll probably have to kick off the camera here in just a little bit. These the turns up here are a little bit of a exciting time. Let's see, still at 198. And we're at the top and it's downshifted. So as we get to the top here, let's see if it crests 200. 199, 199, come on, 200, 200, 200, 200, no. So we didn't reach 200 degrees on the temperature for transmission. So again, we're 10 degrees warmer than we are yesterday, more wind, a little more downshifting, and we held temperature pretty good. So, interesting. Let me get down maybe another couple miles, and we'll flip around and come back because this is the toughest part of the test. Okay, just turned around. We're gonna head back to the top. Right now it shows 199 degrees. So again, still not in 200 degrees yet. I keep trying to get it there. It doesn't quite want to get there. So let's get to the top and see what it reads at the very top of Wildcat Hills, and we'll see what we get on temperature. Okay, we just downshifted a couple times. We are still climbing. We're getting to the top of Wildcat Hills here. And let me get my other camera ready to go. That's kind of the top of the hill. 198 degrees, 199 degrees. Can we get 200? Can we get 200? Starting to flat out here. make this one turn here, and then that's basically flatten stuff out. We have the last little climb left. I think this is like a 3 or 4% grade each side, and I want to say it's about 3/4 to a mile long. So it's a pretty good pull, for especially for Nebraska. This is more like a Midwest towing exercise, right? With the camper and some hills we have going on here. So we at 199, and right about now is the top. So 199. So we did not drop below, or we did not reach 200. That's very interesting. So like I said, yesterday we were above 200. I think the temperature, if I remember on top of my head, was 205. And again, 10 degrees difference in ambient temperature outside. So, you know, you could say, hey, it's better by 5 degrees, or we could say in this situation it's even better than the other one, because the other one the stock one might have run hotter yesterday, being that it's warmer outside. So unfortunately, I did the best I could. I did 2 days the best I could side by side, and so you can see those differences. In my opinion, you know, the transmission fluid we have these days, it's synthetic, it can handle quite a bit of temperature. I've done some research on it, and it's well above, I mean, almost to 350 degrees last time I read one of them. So we have, I mean, these synthetics are much better. But I could see this auxiliary transmission cooler, the bigger one, the bigger radiator, I could see the transmission radiator being very important for people well south of me, right? So if you get down to Arizona, you get down to SoCal, Florida, Texas, for sure. Towing around Texas, I mean, this is kind of a little peace of mind in there to make sure the transmission runs that much cooler in those circumstances. I'd be really curious to do some comparisons down there. Granted, I don't live down there, but I imagine that the variance in temperature is even more because of the higher ambient temperature they have in those areas. And so this being that much bigger, and as I showed you in the camera, that much thicker and stronger of a radiator, I would imagine that does even better job. Now I'm down to 194. Like I can't even get close to 200 again. So I'm going back down, and we went back down the hill. It got me scratching my head. That's pretty interesting. I anticipated it doing better. I just didn't know how much better. And now, like I said, I'm down the well below. I'm at 194, and looks like I'm going down further. So it's definitely keeping that transmission that much cooler, and gives me that much better peace of mind. So yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, I don't know that I'd put it on all the time, just because in northern climates, and I don't tow that often. But for you, if you're towing a lot and you're in a southern climate, or you just are concerned about your, you know, keeping your transmission as cool as possible, it's pretty cheap peace of mind, and it wasn't that bad of an install. It took me probably a couple hours, and I'm a handyman mechanic. I am not a mechanic by any stretch of imagination. Shady tree, if you want to call it that way. And so at home, I did it myself in a couple hours, and yeah, feel pretty good about that. All right, there you go. I will put the towing video over here. For more, check the website, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.